Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Friday evening to you all. Hope you guys are having a great ending to your work week, great beginning to your weekend. If you work on the weekends, well, hope you are having a great evening out there regardless. But got you an update on what's going to happen weather-wise for tomorrow. And then we're going to discuss in about as good detail as we possibly can about what's going to happen next week. There's a severe weather event that's going to occur Sunday and Monday now for areas of the country. So we need to talk a little bit about that. We'll focus in about as detailed as we can on the Sunday event because I'm not thinking there's going to be a huge tornado threat with this. I think the damaging wind threat is going to be the highest, but remember, we still need to get into some of these short range models. We are in short range model guidance now, but we need to get deeper into it over the next 24 hours and see what the HRRR model does. But we are in range of the NAM, so we can take a look at that, and we will. And then we'll talk about the winter weather potential for the Northeast. And there could potentially be two storm systems next week. One early in the week, the other around this time next week, so about 7-8 days out. So we're going to talk about both. And of course, we don't want to get super detailed with these things, but we're going to get as detailed as we can. So if you notice, I look a little bit different in this video. I got a haircut this afternoon. So if you see me itching my back, itching my nose, after you get a haircut, if you don't jump in the shower immediately, you'll be itching all over the place with just little pieces of hair. So if you see me, itch my back or the back of my neck or something like that, that's why. If you notice, I probably look a little bit different to you guys than I did in this morning's video. But anyways, if you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. I want to quickly mention sometime this weekend I'm going to begin to roll out promoting the WeatherFlow, the Tempest weather station. I mentioned this a couple weeks ago that I became an ambassador for them. This is the first time ever. So basically, I'm going to be promoting their channel, and I'll be able to put on discounts for these WeatherFlow stations, and I'll discuss a little bit about it. I have it hooked up in my backyard, and I'll kind of discuss it in about as good detail as I can. I've only had this station for about 2 or 3 weeks, but I can tell you this weather station's phenomenal. It's very easy to set up, but I'm going to put the discount code down there, and I'll have my own little discount referral code, and you'll get 10% off on this unit and other things like that too. So we'll roll that into the weekend, and of course I'm not that great with doing that yet because I haven't done it yet. So if I fumble my words doing it, y'all bear with me because channel is growing. People are starting to reach out to me. It's very exciting, but at the same time, I'm a little anxious for it just because I've never done it before. So I really appreciate the support with that. But almost 3 minutes into this intro, don't want to get anybody upset here. But if you folks got anything that I can pray about or pray over, as always, please put it in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray over it, and it gives others an opportunity to do so too. Let's get rolling with this. Advisories out there. We got the winter weather advisories up because an area of freezing rain is likely going to develop. It's not going to be substantial or anything, just a glaze out there for areas of north central Missouri, areas of eastern Kansas, and then central Illinois. And then you got winter weather advisories up for the higher elevations of Virginia and West Virginia in these sections right here. So we'll see if they get extended. I think you'll have some winter weather advisories in New York State tomorrow that eventually gets issued. But we're going to talk about this actually right now and see how this could develop. So we'll start this off. It's around 7 p.m. Central Time. So here in the next hour, you should have an area of freezing rain that really gets going here in northern Missouri. This will eventually work. Now it looks like it's going to be warm enough in St. Louis for this to just be mainly rain, just some showers. But north of St. Louis, into areas of western Illinois, maybe even southeast Iowa, an area of freezing rain will develop. This is two pieces of energy. They're not really connecting. One area right here, all snow, where there's just colder air. Down here, it's just more so freezing rain into central Illinois, but southern Illinois, rain as we're getting into the middle of the night. But I can tell you, it's a lot of people here in the Carolinas, you're likely going to go to sleep with dry conditions and then wake up and it's going to be quite rainy and or either just damp in general as you're waking up for your Saturday morning in the Carolinas. And unfortunately for people who have any weekend activities across the Carolinas, even maybe portions of North Georgia, it's going to be a totally different world weather-wise than it was today compared to what it's going to be tomorrow. And you guys are going to see it. We'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow. But temperatures won't budge. Whatever you wake up to tomorrow morning, it might be like that all day. So It's really unfortunate because I have a lot of yard work to do. But anyways, this area of precipitation will continue to kind of ride through. So sometime tonight, in Michigan, an area of light to moderate snow will move through. And then eventually we'll get into the Northeast with the same event. And this area of snow will work its way into Pennsylvania. It might just be just north of Pittsburgh, unfortunately, because I know you guys have not had much of a winter at all in Pittsburgh. But waking up tomorrow morning, an area of snow here in northeast or northwest Pennsylvania, western areas of New York State will work its way through Erie, State College, Buffalo, Binghamton to the morning hours. Then we're getting into more so the midday time frame. And check this area of snow out. For western Maryland, areas of northeast West Virginia, northern VA, this could work its way into Washington, D.C. It's crazy. Washington, D.C. hit 80 degrees. When was it? Yesterday? You guys, 48 hours later, could be dealing with snow. Okay, and I mean, most models are honing in on this, but it's an area of moderate and maybe heavy snow sometime early tomorrow afternoon. This will make its way into the Delmarva area, and it could drop a little bit of accumulating snow, maybe as much as an inch. I wouldn't be surprised at all, but this would, hit Delaware and southern New Jersey. These areas have not seen really much of anything so far this winter, but widespread kind of light to at times moderate snow for the interior Northeast. New York City could get maybe a dusting of snow, but when it's all said and done, guys, tomorrow, just a dusting, a few tenths of an inch of snow. You guys could get a couple inches of snow off Cape Cod out here, just with the lingering low pressure, but central New York State, maybe a few inches of snow. But in general, this is just a light event, not really a moderate to heavy event whatsoever. So a wintry day across the Northeast tomorrow for certain areas for sure. Okay, moving to the severe weather event, guys, for Sunday. Okay, we'll talk about Sunday first. There's an enhanced risk, and nothing has really changed with this. A huge slight risk, which extends up to central Kansas, down here just south of Abilene, Texas, so central Texas. So this is really going to be, I think, a damaging wind threat. There's going to be a tornado threat right at the beginning of this that I think will last maybe 1 to 2 hours, a tornado threat. We'll discuss that here, but right now, you have a 30% risk of severe weather within 25 miles of any given location in this red area. So let's talk about how this could potentially unfold. And honestly, I think the NAM's doing okay with this. I mean, there was a lot of chatter in the weather community today about how it was wild that the Storm Prediction Center did not mention the word tornado one time in their discussion. But the Storm Prediction Center has been pretty consistent. They didn't really hype this up from the get-go. They did drop an enhanced risk, but they never said that this is just potentially could be a tornado outbreak or just widespread tornadoes or anything like that. They said there could be a few. And certainly, here we go. We're getting into around 2 p.m. Central Time out here. You got some widespread showers kind of in the moist sector out here to the east into Oklahoma. And then quickly, right here, around 4 or 5 p.m., storms will explode off this dry line. And this is right here in the panhandle, I think, of Texas and Oklahoma. This is when you can have your tornado threat. When these storms try to sort of get discrete very, very briefly, 1 to 2 hour period at most. This could change though. It could change. I'm speaking as what we're seeing right now. Quickly, this begins to develop as we're getting into the late afternoon, evening hours into a line of storms as it moves across far northern Texas into all of western Oklahoma. And then this will be knocking on the door of Oklahoma City, Tulsa, sometime in the late evening hours, maybe around midnight. And this will produce significant winds. We don't quite know how bad it's going to be, but this will continue all the way through the southern half of Kansas, Oklahoma, and even down here to Dallas-Fort Worth. Need to watch out. So right now, this is what this looks like. A big old nasty line of storms that can produce damaging winds and of course, a couple spin-ups. That's what it looks like as of now. So now there is a 15% risk of severe weather within 25 miles in any given location for day 4, which is Monday. This coming Monday. This is in some hillier regions right here. But right now, not really a tornado threat with this. I'm sure there will be a small one. But I think this will be more so damaging winds too, as basically what's left over of this energy will jet across this area of the country right here in the Mississippi Valley and could reinitialize somewhere here in eastern Tennessee and Kentucky. So we'll see what happens with that. We're not really in any short-range model guidance for that. But along with this, as this system flies off to the north up here, you're going to have a lot of strong winds. So we're getting into Sunday evening, and here comes all these strong winds working its way out the south central U.S. And, in the middle of the night, Sunday night, you have 30, 40, 50 mile per hour winds, maybe associated with thunderstorms moving into Missouri and northeast Arkansas. And this will continue across the Mississippi Valley, eventually into parts of the Midwest. The Ohio Valley begins to move into areas of southern Illinois. Sometime Monday morning, winds pushing 35, 45, 50 miles per hour, wind gust, maybe associated with some kind of line of storms, but you're going to be waking up to begin your work week next week, Monday morning, to very windy conditions, I think, across the Ohio Valley, the Mid-South, heck, even the Deep South. Okay, we'll stop it here. This is around late morning Monday, midday. Strong winds across these same areas that have seen a lot of strong wind events Monday morning. And this will continue. Winds will be very strong across Kentucky Monday afternoon. This will probably go all the way into the Northeast. So let's talk about this winter weathery potential for the Northeast early next week. This same system will move across the Ohio Valley, the Midwest, the upper Midwest. This could create another winter storm for northern portions of Minnesota, Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan, and northern Michigan. Okay, I think areas south of that, even Milwaukee, southern Michigan, Chicago, this is a rain event for you guys. Chicago, another rain event. You guys can't score a winter storm to save your life for you winter weather fans. We're getting into Monday afternoon. Winter weather begins to move into areas of the Northeast. Even, it's showing some love for the Northeast, and we'll get a little bit closer here. And, we're in 18Z. We're going to have to go all the way back to this. I can't stand when this happens, but it happens. We're all the way into late Monday evening. Heavy snow moving into, New York State. Sleet, freezing rain mess here in Pennsylvania. And then this is moving, into southern New England in the middle of the night, Monday night. And this is a quick moving system, by the way. 36 hours prior to this is severe weather in Oklahoma and Texas. So this is a quick moving system, but a low pressure develops. Heavy snow falling in all of Connecticut, Rhode Island, moving more widespread over Massachusetts as we're getting into more so Tuesday morning. And sure enough, Tuesday morning, it's snowing for all of Long Island, New York City, snowing at a moderate to heavy pace in southern New England. And this continues. Some of the models are backed off on some of these crazy totals, but it's still snowing. You're getting into Tuesday evening, and then this finally heads off. Okay, so you look at the GFS with the same system, and we'll back this up a little bit. I meant to have it backed up, and here we go, man. And keep in mind, guys, this is well inside 100 hours now, and here comes the system getting into Monday evening. Same deal, same guys, same stuff, guys. Look. So you got freezing rain in areas, this is consistently shown too, freezing rain like around Scranton, like northeast Pennsylvania, even, working its way. I would say that the GFS is warmer than the Euro. It has a more amplified system, but it's warmer. Like, for example, it brings just a wintry mess into New York City, sleet, freezing rain into Connecticut. It's all snow up here in Massachusetts initially in the middle of the night, Monday night. This is very heavy snow into the interior Northeast. But as we're getting into Tuesday morning, this remains all snow for like Boston. It's, absolutely unloading snow in Boston, for example. But just south of Boston, Connecticut, Rhode Island, if you take the GFS as if it's going to happen, which you shouldn't because this is going to tweak back and forth, then this would certainly indicate a nasty mix of winter precipitation. But this is all snow. Again, a hefty snowstorm for you folks in New Hampshire, Vermont, and areas of southern Maine and upstate New York. So this continues and then it heads on out. As far as snowfall totals, here it comes. Here comes the first event. Bang. It's a pretty hefty signal right here. And, I wouldn't say hefty, but it's a pretty significant signal that we're going to have accumulating snow across, and there's the signal over here that you saw. But, this takes us all the way out to about midday Wednesday of March 1st, which this is pretty much after the storm is pretty much all wrapped up at this point. Solid signal for snow here in New York State, even northern sections of Pennsylvania, southern New England. Most areas have at least a 5 to 7 inch snowfall mean. Boston, you're sitting right around 5 inches, but a solid look here. And you look at the GFS ensemble, it's even higher. You got even more of a significant signal. And this signal you see down here, that is for the event tomorrow. The GFS ensemble giving somebody 1 to 2 inches of snow down here in the Delmarva area. So could be in for a surprise down there. But solid signal for the interior Northeast for a hefty snow event. So I will say, we need to watch out after the storm. As this system pulls away, check this out on the European. Another system immediately rides in, and it's not this one. Watch down here, right down here. This system rides up, and you basically just got an active flow that sets up. Could be quite rainy across the southeast next week. So you got this system, then you got this system that's overrunning across this boundary, and here comes this right here around next Thursday into Friday. Heavy wet snow in the southern Appalachian Mountains. And then this eventually tries to switch to snow even in eastern Virginia and North Carolina. And not that big of an event, right? But, look at let's back this up. Look at what the GFS is showing with this. The GFS has a pretty aggressive storm system after this one. So as we're getting into late next work week, there's a lot going on here, okay? A lot of rain down here initially, snow up here, maybe some snow for the Chicago area late next week. We'll see. And then here comes this system right here, just a big old bowling ball looking of a system. And it's basically the rain changing to heavy snow across areas of the western Mid-South, the Ohio Valley. Please don't look at this as if it's going to happen. This will change 100 times. But we are inside 1 week now of this storm. So we're inching into that medium range. But this looks like another big system if the GFS is correct. But keep in mind, the European has a much flatter, weaker system. But the GFS has a big winter storm for areas as we get into late next work week. So we need to watch this. This would bring another round of winter weather for the Northeast next weekend. But it is starting to look like early next week, the Northeast is going to get hit again. And then areas further south might get a little bit of winter weather love out there. So that's all I got, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll have you an update in the morning. God bless all y'all, and thank y'all for tuning in.